And we're live on the Twitch. Hello.
Welcome, friends.
Oh, I thought we were going to do the thing.
Oh,
No,
hello.
I don't want to do it anymore.
You couldn't do the third part. That's why you don't want to do it.
Hello.
Actually, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is 161, so we just get to it.
Let's do it.
I don't think we talked about how we were going to do this episode, so let's just do it and
It'll
see
be
what
fun.
happens.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep.
Woo. Okay.
You start us off,
Yeah,
brother.
I know. I'm going to start off by pressing record.
Okay.
Last week, it didn't record right on the audio.
Oh.
And then I had to do that thing again where I
Right.
record the
Right.
YouTube on it.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
What a time.
Yeah, what a time.
What a time.
Okay, who sings that?
I don't know.
No one. It's in my head, I guess. All right, here we go.
Okay.
161, right?
Who gave us that funny screen grab of me being like,
That was Tattooed Virgo.
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, he asked if I had showed it to you, and I was like, I got to, yeah.
It's dynamite. I want it to be my driver's license picture.
Okay.
All right.
What am I doing? I'm
I
on
have
Twitter.
I want you to start.
Okay,
but
let's
you
do
won't.
this. Welcome to episode 161 of the All the Books Show, recorded at the David A. Howe Public Library, where we talk book news, author news, and literary news. I'm Eric Mickles.
And I'm Nick Gunning.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm all right.
I'm feeling, I got some time on my hands again. For the last 6 weeks, I've been directing this play.
Yeah.
If you listened into last episode 160, we talked with some of the cast members, and the play was just this past weekend.
Didn't we?
Couple of performances in Houghton, and then some right here at the David A. Howe Public Library.
Yeah.
All went well. We had good responsive crowds, so thanks to everybody who came.
Yep. So that was a pretty good showing of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Turn off the dark, absolutely.
did,
You
right?
know, it's not Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark because I don't have any like broken bones or anything, so it can't
Yeah.
be that. But yeah, I don't know what to do with myself now. I'm gonna have like free evenings and all
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna see my house again,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll be nice.
Are you going to do the musical version of Joe versus the Volcano?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If there is one, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
do
true.
it.
That'd be pretty good.
It will be. Well, today we're going to be talking about Micheal Crichton Year 1. So this is
Odds
where,
on.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying it's like
Yeah.
it's the origin of
Yeah.
Michael
Crichton. Actually, he did travel the world a little bit, too. Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
He's like 6'5", though. How tall is Batman?
Not 6'5".
Okay.
Not many people are 6'5", but Michael Crichton is. Anyway,
I don't know if that's true.
Eric and I sat down and read Michael Crichton's first published novel, published under a pseudonym.
Yep.
And we're going to dig into it a little bit
Yep.
later. So,
Jurassic Park by Alan Grant.
hmm.
Is that not what you read?
No, I'm trying to decide if that is technically a joke, and I don't think it is.
Whatever.
All right.
Here's a joke.
All right.
Why don't... No, I got nothing.
Ah, boy.
I figured anything I said would just be too mean.
Yeah, that's probably safe. It
So-
probably would have been. Probably would have been.
All right. Why don't you start with the bookmark?
I would love to. All right. Well,
What you finished this week?
I don't know. I didn't do a ton of reading this week, actually.
Maybe because you were in a play.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
that must be it.
Yeah.
Well, I did read Let's Just Say It Wasn't Pretty by Diane Keaton.
Okay, so she just wrote about the time she spent at your birthday party?
Ah.
Listen, I'm
I
being
guess,
mean.
I guess the point of
I'm
that
being
joke,
mean,
though, is
yeah.
that Diane Keaton came to my birthday party. So, like, which one of us really suffers from there?
Darn it. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, anyway, that was pretty good. It's her first memoir was a little more focused on, like, telling about her life, and this was a little more just observational. I actually preferred this one better, though the online reviews are not kind. Everybody else seems to prefer the first one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked her just kind of rambling about things she thought. I thought it was more interesting, more on point,
Yeah.
you know. So I read that.
Okay.
I read If You Ask Me, and Of Course You Won't by the legendary Betty White.
Yeah.
Fun. Quick read.
Uh-huh.
Nothing too groundbreaking.
You gave
or
it 4
anything,
stars.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was
Okay.
good. I listened to the audiobook of that one on Overdrive.
Right.
Betty White reads it, so that's
Mhm.
just fun. It's
Okay.
like going on a little car trip with Betty White.
That'd be fun.
Probably fewer bathroom stops, but you know.
That was an old joke then. Sorry, Betty White. You're a
She's
legend.
fine.
You're not
She
being
would've
treated like
laughed.
that.
She
Yeah.
would have laughed at that joke.
think
She
so?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Then I also finished Forever Evil,
Forever.
which is
I can't hit the Forever Young. I can't do
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I think it's wise
I
of you
want to
not
be... Oh, you know why?
What?
Too many syllables in Forever Evil.
I guess
Doesn't
so.
work.
Yeah.
All right, go on. You were going to talk about
Anyway,
Forever
it's
Evil.
just a big epic DC Comics event.
Yeah?
So I finished that.
You gave it
and
5 stars.
I really liked it. I thought it was a very successful event. A lot of them aren't. You know, a lot of them it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of characters and some kind of big plot. But this one I thought worked really well. I picked this up because I've been reading that big giant brick of an omnibus of all the Tim Seeley's Grayson
Grayson.
stuff. And that kind of spins out of the events of Forever Evil. So I figured, well, I might as well go back and read it. And I'm glad I
Right.
did because I really liked it. So that was it for graphics this week.
I read Forever Evil forever ago. But I remember being really because like the Justice League comics were also doing their own thing, and it was just a mess. Like the Justice League comics were a mess at the time, and then I think I liked Forever Evil enough, but I don't remember.
You gave it 3 stars.
Yeah.
You said it didn't have any weight to it.
Oh,
See, I hadn't read any of the books around it.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of I wasn't really reading much in DC Comics during that era. So for me, it was just kind of a fun little. It almost felt like a standalone story.
Post Forever Evil, Lex Luthor is part of the Justice League.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Superman.
What run is that?
That's just the New 52.
Oh.
That it starts at like volume 6
Okay.
of that whole Jeff Johns New
Okay.
52
Maybe
run.
I'll
We
have
have both Forever Evil and that whole Justice League run
Okay.
in our collection.
Great. I'll have to check it out then.
Don't you mean Grayson? Have you finished Grayson?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I paused to go back and read Forever Evil. So
Right. I want to
now I'm currently reading. We're doing a banned books book club, and we're reading Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. I've started that a few times, and it's not catching me.
So you think it was banned for being boring?
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why. It's just, I don't know. I mean, smarter people than I have commented on Farewell to Arms and Hemingway in general.
Big of you to say that.
I'll leave it to them. But I'm going to give it I'm going to power through it. I'm going to do it, and I'm hoping by the end I will have an appreciation for it. Right now, I'm just a little like, oh, gal, this is boring.
Yeah, sure.
That's it for me. I've been listening, if I may be so
really
bold,
it? Yeah,
as to sneak in some music here. I've been listening to Sir Paul McCartney's latest album, Egypt Station. Here's some fun facts about Egypt Station, everyone, which we do have this album in our collection.
Fun facts.
This is
Fun fact number 1.
in his career. And I had to look this up to make sure this was right, and it's true. In his career, this is Paul McCartney's first album to debut at number 1. He's had many albums that have gone to number 1, but this is the first one to debut right at number 1.
Is that including his stuff with Wings?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah.
So Band on the Run? People
it got to
Yeah.
it, but it peaked there. It didn't start there.
Huh.
It's also 36 years in between number 1 albums for Paul McCartney.
Jeez.
Which is a record for living artists.
Yeah.
36 years in between a number 1 album is the longest stretch. But who knows? I mean, maybe Ringo is going to...
You think Ringo's going to have his number 1?
Maybe he's got one more.
Yeah.
No, I honestly don't think that. I just want to be clear. I do not think Ringo is the number 1 album. But the only person to ever have a longer span was Johnny Cash, who beats it by just a couple of months with a posthumous release. But in his lifetime, Paul McCartney has now taken that record for being the longest.
Nice.
In between number 1s. I didn't expect it to debut at number 1. Did you?
I think maybe it's a case of like Paul McCartney's new. I mean, that there was just that thing with the carpool karaoke, like 2 of them.
Yeah.
And those are very popular.
Yeah.
And also what's coming out at this moment. So maybe it's just like a perfect storm.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
So,
well, it's cool. I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm excited. The album, I mean, we listened to it a time on our way to the legislative breakfast. Did you have any reaction to it? Did you like it?
I like the first half better than the second half.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought 18 tracks is a lot of tracks to put on a CD these days.
Two are bonus tracks.
Ah, okay.
And,
that's right.
And one was like an intro station. So it's 15 tracks, which is still kind of a lot, but
yeah.
So I've listened to it multiple times now, and I don't dislike it, but I'm not like connected to it like I have been some of his other albums. Like I really wanted to just love this album.
Yeah.
And I like some of the singles, I like Fayu, I like I Don't Know. I think those are really good. And there's a couple others that I'm like, yeah, okay, I like this. But it's not one of those ones where I put it in and I just think, oh, this song, this song, yeah. So, I'm sure some of the others will be sort of sleeper hits and they'll sneak up on me. But right now I'm whelmed, I guess.
Yeah. I never, like, when someone like Paul McCartney puts out another album, like, what else do you have to say?
Yeah.
But then, like, you get all these, like, releases, like, they made this record and then they died the next day it was released, and you listen to it, like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
So maybe Paul McCartney just needs to do...
Are you thinking of David Bowie right now?
Yeah, I was thinking of David Bowie, but also Leonard Cohen.
Oh, right.
Johnny Cash.
Sure. Yep.
So it's just kind of like, maybe Paul McCartney needs to do his death album.
Oh, jeez.
Not die.
Wowzer.
So maybe he just needs to get that ready.
Yeah.
Just say stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he tends to shy away from personal things, like in
That's
his
true,
writing.
yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of that. I mean, when he does, it's pretty good, but he doesn't.
Except for that one where he's like, I was in the Beatles, you jerks. Remember that song? What's
I
that called?
do. It's called Early Days, and it's
Early
from
Days.
New, and you're misinterpreting that song. Anyway, that's it for me in my bookmark.
All right.
Take it away. What have you been up to, little
What
guy?
have
I know you basically have a hat trick here. You've finished all the things that you were in process of.
Yeah, that is a hat trick.
Yeah.
What else? Where's the term hat trick come from?
It's a soccer term.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, so I finished The Witcher Book 3.
Yeah.
We actually just got the more Witchers in, so we got all the ones I've read so far now. I read Baptism of Fire by, oh boy, can you do this for me?
Oh, I don't have it in front of me.
Andrzej.
I'm not sure.
Sapkowski,
Okay.
Polish writer.
What is this?
Baptism of Fire. This is Witcher.
Oh, Witcher. Okay.
Yeah, this is The Witcher
Okay.
3 or 5, depending on how Goodreads is organizing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this more than the first two novel things. As I said, I still miss when he was like, "Oh, there's a vampire here." This book, I complained last time. We're like, "Oh, is there a vampire in the area?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Darn it!" But it turned out there was a vampire in the area. And now they're hanging out.
That's right. You were so
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah, but it turns out that he might be a good vampire, and he's hanging out with them. And I'm
Maybe.
like, sweet.
Maybe.
So I liked it, but it also just kind of ends with nothing resolved. Honestly, I know how you feel about Lord of the Rings, and it's a crazy opinion, but this is how you'd feel the same way. Like Baptism Fire, The Witcher just goes on a long walk, and he doesn't get to his destination.
Uh-huh.
So
You know what? I think that's called The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Sorry.
I told you.
Sorry, everyone.
Anyway, okay, so what's next?
It's weird that there'd be a fantasy novel where people are just like traveling with an unattainable goal. That's surprising.
Well, what happens is they're going one direction.
Yes.
He's looking for his adopted daughter, Ciri.
Is anybody splitting up? Is there a split up at some point?
Ciri's missing.
Okay.
And him and his group are after Ciri.
But the group all stays together?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But halfway through the book, somebody's like, Ciri's not in that direction. She's in the other direction.
Oh, no.
So they're like, oh, we got to turn around.
Oh, no.
So,
Well, what are you going to do?
oh, boy. I don't know. I have an attitude. I also finished Odds On, but we're going to talk more about that later.
Okay.
Again, the first Micheal Crichton book written under the pseudonym. Pseudonym?
Pseudonym. Yeah, you got it.
John Lang.
Nailed it.
Whew.
Yeah.
You can feel my heart racing. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
hummingbird in
yeah.
my chest.
You could say pen name. That's easier to say.
Yeah, sure. But then I think about Zach Penn, the screenwriter who did Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And I start panicking again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Incredible Hulk or Hulk?
Right.
But I've also been reading a lot of comics. So I've been reading a lot. You remember how I was reading Ultimate X-Men?
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped because I'm at Ultimatum area. So now I went back and I started reading Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Okay,
I've
yeah,
just been
I
cruising
read
through
some
it.
Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Mike Carey is a comic book author. He did a really good X-Men run.
Okay.
And did a lot of fun stuff with Rogue and Magneto and a lot of different characters. And I really liked his X-Men. His Ultimate Fantastic Four, boy, it is not good. It is a mess. I thought I picked up the first volume of where I was at. I think it was volume 4 of this stuff.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is bad. And then Mark Millar comes in, and he, again,
I usually like his stuff.
yeah,
Pretty good.
I said last week he's not a subtle writer, and he isn't. And it's even more so in this one. This is where like the Marvel zombies show up. And I was reading your reviews on Goodreads. You don't like the zombie stuff.
No, I
But
do
I
not.
like the zombie stuff because they're like, I feel like the design and everything is effectively creepy.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, oh, if they get out, this is bad news.
Yeah.
But it's just so Mark Millar is the kind of writer who, when you have somebody come and cure diseases, they cure all diseases. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good.
It's just Mark Millar is an everything or nothing kind of writer. It's like, we've solved all poverty.
Wow.
Nobody's hungry. Everybody's free of disease.
And
but
so
also
you
it's-
want people with diseases.
no,
and
I'm just saying there's some people who like, oh, we've solved this. We still can't figure out this. But Mark Millar is just like, if he's writing an alien invasion,
Yeah.
it's like they've taken out 80 capitals. You know, it's just everything. Like when
Right.
you're a kid playing with your action figures.
Yeah.
Mark Millar writes that way.
Okay.
So not subtle, but it's exciting.
All right.
I also read Ultimate Power. It's 9 issues. This is a mini series of 9 issues, switching authors and everything.
Okay.
It's a big crossover. I could talk forever about Superior Power, which was what's the author's name? You'd like to Spider-Man
Straczynski?
rank? Yeah, Straczynski. It was like the first comic I ever read like
Yeah,
this.
I've read some of those.
It was like Watchmen-ish. Anyways, it's DC analog kind of characters like Superman and Green Lantern and whatnot, but it's kind of set in this dark, real, more realistic world.
Dark.
But when I first read it, I loved it. It was like the greatest thing I've ever read. But then the series just kind of like did nothing and just disappeared.
Okay.
But those first couple volumes, like as a teenager, like this is so cool. Anyways, the Ultimate Universe crosses over with them and has a big fight.
That sounds fun.
Nick Fury gets stuck in the Ultimate.
I love a good crossover.
Yeah.
You know that.
It's not bad. Jeff Loeb writes the last couple issues.
Okay.
Not so good. So,
I find Jeff Loeb to be better with fewer characters.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, and somebody else calling the shots.
I mean, his start on Superman, Batman back in the day is so strong. Bringing back Supergirl and everything.
Yeah,
A really good run, which we have in the collection, folks.
that's
Is that
true.
it for you?
No,
okay.
Well, I haven't opened the book yet, but I'm going to start reading The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi. I was gonna maybe audiobook this when I took that trip a while ago, but I decided not to because it's read by Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
And I had listened to him read Red Shirts, and I did not like it.
All right.
So I was like, I'm just going to read this because it sounded like John Scalzi's sense of humor was maybe going to get in my way. So I was like, I can skim over that.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's true. That's helpful.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that. I needed something to read because, I finished the books. But you and I also saw Searching.
Yes, we did. That's right. I totally
Searching.
forgot. We did. John Cho.
Yeah.
Yep. Deborah Messing.
Yeah, which I had to find out at the end of with the credits. I'm like, oh, that was Deborah Messing.
She did look very different. I mean, they like unglammed her.
She was
very
also like a
successfully.
brunette, or maybe it was just the.
Yeah, it was real dark red.
Yeah.
but
Okay. There you go.
Yep.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I couldn't really figure out how you liked it.
I liked it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it. I don't think it hit all of its marks.
Yeah.
I think there's a world in which you could have had a much better movie. But I thought,
For those who don't know, because it is a smaller film.
it is.
John Cho is a father whose daughter goes missing, but it's told entirely through like everything on screen is as if you're looking at a computer
Right.
or sometimes TV newscasts, and they cheat a little bit with the
Right.
camera angles there. But it's through like Skype conversations, FaceTime, Google searches.
Yeah.
But I felt like it's done. I thought, oh, this is going to get boring watching somebody type, but it actually stayed pretty tense. The whole
Yeah, I mean,
time through
I kind of
everything.
forgot that was happening. It just it just kind of melded into just being a movie.
The whole like inciting incident where the daughter goes missing.
Yeah.
He's asleep, and we just have like the face cam on him while he's sleeping, and you see his daughter call, and then hang up, and then a couple seconds later call again.
Yeah.
And that was just a very stressful thing.
Yeah, the imagery was very stressful.
And
I would recommend it. I say it's
Yeah.
worth seeing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I couldn't tell how I felt about social media afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this good that I can be found so easily?
Right.
Because would she hit? Would things have turned out?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. If he didn't know her first password, though, the whole movie would have stopped.
Yeah.
So
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I liked it. Nick and I sometimes see these scary movies just out of nowhere.
I know. Yeah.
Like when
on
we
the way
saw
back from
Visiting.
Visiting.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that
or
was
the
scary.
visitor. What's it
No,
called?
Visiting.
Visiting.
The Visit.
The visit.
Yes, the two kids, the M. Night
It's
Shyamalan
important
movie
that we
where
get
the
that
two
exactly
kids
right.
go see their grandparents.
Their grandparents.
That was a scary time.
Intense. It was
Yeah.
intense.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's all I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on to some book news?
Yeah.
Well, as promised, the National Book Award has listed their long
Oh, we're
list.
just going right to it.
So, yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
So here are the long listed books. So there's multiple stages here. After this, we'll go down to a short list, and then we'll have a winner in the next couple of months. But the long list is kind of good. I mean, it's helpful for us in ordering books and that sort of thing because it gives us an idea of, what's high regarded and all that.
And what's cool, Daddy?
Yeah, what's cool, what's hip, what the kids. I don't think that's what the kids are into, but
You don't think the kids are into the national
No,
book list?
I don't.
All right.
I don't. All right, so we're down to the long list is 10. So I'm just going to read them for you.
All right.
And they are as follows.
Which one's this?
A Lucky Man by Jamel Brinkley.
This is the adult fiction.
Yep.
You're reading. Okay.
Fiction long list, yep. Jennifer Clement, and the book is Gun Love. Lauren Groff's Florida. Daniel Gumbeiner's The Boat Builder. Brandon Hobson's Where the Dead Sit Talking.
Yee.
Tiari Jones, An American Marriage.
Uh-huh.
Rebecca Mackay, The Great Believers. Sigrid Nunez, The Friend. Tommy Orange, They're There. Nafisa Thompson Spires, Heads of the Colored People. So that's the top. Do you want more? You want to get them all?
Sure. I
Okay,
mean, yeah.
let's do
At
it.
least
All
the
right.
nonfiction and the young adult. Those are the ones
Absolutely.
we.
All right. Why don't you do young adult then?
Oh, okay. Why don't I open up the
Oh,
tab
sorry.
while you read
No,
the
no, no.
nonfiction
Okay, I'll
one
do
then?
it. One Person, No Vote: How Voter Suppression is Destroying Our Democracy by Carol Anderson. The Indian World of George Washington, the First President and the First American, and the Birth of the Nation by Colin G. Galloway.
Mm-hmm.
Directorate S: The CIA and America's Secret Wars in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Steve Cull. Brothers of the Gun: A Memoir of the Syrian War by Marwan Hisham and Molly Crabapple. American Eden: David Hosek, Botany and Medicine in the Garden of the Early Republic by Victoria Johnson. The Tangled Tree: A Radical New History of Life by David Quammen. Heartland: A Memoir of Working Hard and Being Broke in the Richest Country on Earth by Sarah Smarsh. Call Them by Their True Names: American Crisis and Essays. Rebecca Solnit: The New Negro: The Life of Elaine Locke by Jeffrey C. Stewart. We the Corporations: How American Businesses Won Their Civil Rights by Adam Winkler.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, good for them. You want to take it away with young adult?
Sure.
Okay.
I guess. Okay. What do we got for young adult? What won last year? Do you remember?
I don't.
Was it The Hate You Give?
Probably.
Maybe it
I'll look it up
wasn't.
while you read them.
All right. Maybe it wasn't. All right. So the first book on the young adult list for the Young People's Literature Award, you got The Poet X by Elizabeth Akivado. I'm going to have to read these because some of the fun. The Assassination of Brangwain Spurge by M.T. Anderson and Eugene Yelchin. Brian Bliss's We'll Fly Away. Leslie Connor's The Truth, as Told by Mason Buttle. Christopher Paul Curtis's The Journey of Little Charlie. Jarrett Krasaska. Hey, kiddo. Tariha Mafi, A Very Large Expanse of Sea. Joy McClough, Blood, Water, Paint. This one was actually requested for us to get.
Really?
We have it, yeah.
Nice.
Elizabeth Partridge, Boots on the Ground. I actually just started watching Ken Burns' Vietnam.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. America's War in Vietnam. Vesper Stamper, What the Night Sings.
Do you have any sense of these? Like what's...
I guess if I had to guess what the night sings,
Okay.
it's probably like an early day Springsteen song.
I see.
Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you noticed any of these being more popular than the others?
let's see. Have I noticed any of them being more no.
Okay.
So, but that's usually the national book list, doesn't it? Like make things a little bit more popular.
It does help. I mean, I think for adults, There has been on the bestseller list for quite a while.
Yes, yeah.
And American Marriage was one
that was there for a while.
part of the Oprah's book club.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that those are at least probably the more well known of the two. But
Yeah.
I mean, Lauren Groff as well. The 2017 winner for young adult fiction was, maybe that's adult. Sing Unburied Sing, Jessamine Ward. She writes in both. I'm not sure which way.
Mhm.
Do you remember which one that was?
No.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
That was the adult one.
That was the adult one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the short list will be in the next couple of months, so
Nice.
we'll update when that comes as
Cool.
well.
Exciting.
It is exciting.
Try to act excited then, Nick.
I'm sorry. I'm so excited.
All right, what's next?
I would love to tell you what's next,
Okay.
and that is advanced notices.
Yay. All
Are
right.
you ready for some advanced?
Yeah,
notices?
let me just turn up the dial.
Okay.
So you're at a 7, I feel
Okay.
like. How do we get you to a 9?
Far from the Tree by Robin Benway won last year, by the way, for young adult.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
And here, if you want to turn the dial up, I've got some exciting news.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
I'm a Robert Parker fan.
A
right?
Robert B. Parker.
Robert B. Parker.
Yeah.
I think our listeners know I'm a Robert B. Parker fan
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Since he's passed, they've picked up the Spencer series. They picked up Jesse Stone.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up, very unsuccessfully, I might add, they've picked up the Everett Hitch, Virgil Cole Westerns. The one that has not been touched is Sonny Randall. Robert Parker wrote 6 Sonny
Right.
Randall books, and they sort of commingled with the Jesse Stone books towards the end. And then when Parker passed away, nothing. They've just been...
Right.
Well, we've just got the notice that Mike Lupica is reviving Sonny Randall.
He writes a lot of children's sports books.
Does he?
Yeah, a lot of like baseball,
Oh, yeah. I can picture what you mean.
like Heat, and all these. Yeah, I recognize him as a as like this kid makes it into the big leagues kind of writer.
All right.
So now so is he.
We had Sonny Randall was just 6 books, and now we have a 7th coming out. So I'm really I've not had a great experience reading these post Robert Parker books. I've read 2 different authors, and both times experience. It's been like Ace Atkins on Spencer is okay.
Right.
But anyway, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Would you say he brings the sun, Nee Randall?
I hope so, Eric.
Like the Monkees
I hope
song.
so. Yeah.
She brings the sun.
Brings the summer.
Or she brings the summer.
Yep.
I don't know. Go on.
From the Monkees album Good Times, which I highly recommend.
Is any author that should be writing a sequel to his long-running Game of Thrones series doing something else that maybe isn't writing the sequel to Game of Thrones?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I wanted to mention that this Sonny Randall book is going to come out November 27th.
Oh, okay.
And here's a little taste. Robert B. Parker's iconic and irresistible PI Sonny Randall is back, and the stakes are higher than ever. They always say that. As she races to protect her ex-husband and his mafia family from the vengeful plan of a mysterious rival. It's not great when Sonny focuses too much on her ex, so that's not giving me a strong feeling. But
it's not good for anybody to focus on their ex.
You're right.
Let go.
To answer your question,
right?
George R.R. Martin.
Sure, he's writing his 6th book now. For Game of Thrones for fans who don't want a Robert Jordan situation.
I guess this is a prequel.
Good, that's what they want.
Yeah, I mean Robert Jordan did the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
He did. Wow. And then ultimately Brandon Sanderson took over, which some may argue is a better conclusion, but you know.
Snap. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
Anyway, Fire and Blood. So this is part of this A Song of Fire and Ice, but it's not the next book.
If he's doing this because after Game of Thrones ends, they're doing a Game of Thrones prequel series on HBO.
Oh.
So I wonder if it's like when
he's
Marvel,
gotta get it.
Like X-Men 2 came out and Marvel's like, we got to do Wolverine's origin before the movies do.
Yeah.
And now George R. R. Martin's like, I can do it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So.
Well, this says this is the first volume of the definitive 2-part history.
Oh, no. That was a 2-part prequel for Wheel of Time.
Well.
Didn't he? Wasn't it 2 pieces?
No, I think it's just one. The graphic novel's in a couple pieces. Well, you might be right. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't help you there. Anyway, if you care about this, God bless you. And this is coming out November 20th.
Okay, yeah.
Finally, in advance notices.
What's the subtitle? Or what is it? A history of the Targaryen kings
300 years before
Argon the Conqueror to Argon the Third.
Anyway,
so it's just 3.
Friend of the library, Alexander McCall Smith, back with book number 19. Book number 19 in his popular #1 Ladies Detective Agency. I warmed to this series. When I read it cold, I didn't really like it, and then I went back and revisited. I got back on board, and I've read like random ones, like peppered throughout. Which is weird.
Right.
Weird for me. I don't.
But now things are heating up.
Yes. This is called The Colors of All the Cattle. This is coming out in November as well, so you have a little bit of time to wait for this one. Precious Ramatswe dips her toe into the world of politics. Oh. In the world of politics, and the newest addition to the beloved and best-selling #1 Ladies Detective Agency. He and I had a nice, long discussion on American politics over breakfast while he was here visiting. And both predicted things to turn out differently than they have. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this. Book. But these and the others will be here in November, so you can catch them then.
Neat.
Yep.
Oh, geez.
All right. What about the New York Times bestseller list? What do we got up there?
Yeah. Let's just.
I should mention you can see the full long list on the National Book Awards website, which I did post on Twitter, or you can find it at nationalbook.org. You can find information about past winners, about the progress here for the next several steps of the National Book Award, and lots of other information as well.
Okay.
Take it away.
Yeah, now I can do it. Now I can do this whole list.
I would love
so
it.
this is the New York Times bestsellers list for hardcover fiction. So this is when you get a book, and the cover, you knock on it.
Yeah.
It's got some stability.
It's sturdy.
It's a hardcover.
It's a sturdiness.
Not like a paperback.
Not a paperback, but a sturdiness.
Yeah. Number 10, Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate.
What happened before?
Well, I don't.
This is the sad orphanage one.
A South Carolina lawyer learns about the questionable practices of a Tennessee orphanage.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Sorry, man. I didn't write it.
Oh, well. Okay.
I didn't write it. I have no part of this.
I'm not doubting you.
A lot of new books this week.
Sure.
Some
that's
books,
fun.
Some
That's
books
exciting.
gone. Some new books here.
I bet James Patterson's there still.
Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens at number 9.
New Orleans, right? Louisiana.
In the quiet town of the North Carolina coast.
Oh.
In 1969, a woman who survived alone in the marsh becomes a murder suspect. Huh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Is a lady just living in the marsh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, number 8.
Okay.
Dark Sentinel, a Carpathian novel by Christine Feehan.
I remember when we did the advance notice on this one.
the
and now it's here.
32nd book. So take that, Alexander McCall Smith.
Yeah.
Quit snoring.
Yeah, quit
Get
spinning
to
your wheels, Alexander
writing
McCall
32
Smith.
Carpathian books.
Right, 32 of them.
Andor Katana tries to convince Lorraine Peters of their mortal bond.
Yep, gotta
Now,
tell her.
do you think it's just going to be like, come on, we
This
have an
is the
immortal
one-
bond?
I remember this one because the synopsis was like a human woman,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. It's just
Yeah,
a
you
good
have
way to
to-
start.
yeah.
It's a good way to start
Yeah,
because it tells you it's only going to get better.
yeah, that's
It's only
true.
going to get better.
Do you think like he's gonna be like, we have a immortal bond? She's like, prove it, and then they
Yeah.
have to like just hang out for like
Yeah.
200 years and like, see,
Yeah.
200
It's
years.
only been 200 years.
Number 7, Stephen King, The Outsider. Nick, you're planning on reading some Stephen King that isn't The Outsider.
Yes, we're going to do a 2-part Stephen King book club coming up. We're going to start with Cujo,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to read The Dead Zone.
Yeah.
Special guest Chris Walken. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Chris Walken's not coming.
Really?
He might. I don't know. He's unpredictable.
I read that he only turns down movie roles if it interferes with his scheduling. So I
Huh.
bet that applies to his visits.
to podcasts and
Yeah.
different things.
Look, get Christopher Walken.
I
What?
will try.
I haven't done a Christopher
I will
Walken
try.
impression in a while. I think
Yeah.
mine's a little rusty.
Yeah.
J.R. Nope, I can't do it.
No.
It's becoming a bit of a, who's his name that I always says people's last names really badly? Grease Lightning, Tom.
What?
The guy. He sings.
I have no.
Look
John
who's talking.
Travolta?
Thank you.
Oh.
Tommy. Oh, boy.
Tommy.
I'm going to go lie down.
Yeah.
J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fall of Gondolin, edited by Christopher Tolkien, with illustrations by Alan Lee. Bought by,
Tolkien.
I guess, that one friend you have,
I guess, yeah.
but there's enough of them that it's still at number 6.
Kids going off to college and parents being like, I got you a new Christopher Tolkien book. You love those, honey.
No, yeah, thanks, Mom.
Eat your vegetables when you get there and call me every morning.
Wow. Thousands of years before the events of The Lord of the Rings, a hero named Tuor.
See, that's great because that's what, 1,000?
Yeah.
1,000 or thousands?
Thousands.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Tolkien can keep finding these things just
Yeah.
shoved in couch cushions
Yeah.
and propping up a table
Yeah.
somewhere, and he can find it,
Yeah.
turn it into a bestseller.
Yeah.
He's got 1,000 years worth of history to get through.
It's true.
1,000.
Do you know 1,000 years before Lord of the Rings, someone discovered the recipe for marshmallows, but then it
great.
was lost?
That'd be great.
Tora visits a secret city. So, yeah. I guess this is like the Knights of the Old Republic for Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
I guess so.
Except they don't make graphic novels for this stuff.
Mm.
Anyway, number 5.
Anyway.
Craig Johnson has a book out. Craig Johnson.
Of Longmire fame.
Depth of Winter by Craig Johnson. Sheriff Longmire takes on the head of a drug cartel in a remote area of northern Mexican desert. Of the northern Mexican desert.
Thank you for that.
Sorry. Number 4, Texas Ranger. Nothing to do with excuse me.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Nothing to
Nothing
do
to do
with
with
Chuck
Chuck Norris.
You haven't read it, so you don't know.
Oh, that's true.
You can't
Yeah.
say definitively.
What
that
if this
it's
is the
nothing to do
son?
with it.
Why isn't there a son of Walker Texas Ranger?
It's a great
out there?
title. It's a great
Yeah.
title right there.
Rory Yates' job and reputation are at risk when he's accused of killing his ex-wife. I don't know why I laughed at that.
Yeah.
I got a darkness inside of me.
You do.
Number 3, James
You
Patterson.
sure do.
It's always James Patterson fighting for James Patterson
Yep.
against James Patterson.
Only one James Patterson.
Yep. 2 James Pattersons enter.
Yeah.
This is the Patterson Dome.
Yep.
The President is Missing by Bill Clinton and James Patterson.
Ah.
President Jonathan Duncan. Sexy. Young President Jonathan Duncan. Full head of hair.
Yeah.
Sweet car.
Yeah.
Great on guitar.
Yeah.
Takes on adversaries at home and abroad.
It's got a pinball machine.
Got a pinball machine. Yep. Widower.
Yeah.
Widower.
Yeah.
Pinball machine.
Yep.
So dogs love him.
They do.
Women love. Men want to be him.
Yeah. Yeah. Men want to be and women want to be with them.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the dog.
Yeah.
So
He's a president you can set your watch to.
you sure can.
That President John Duncan,
Yeah.
written by Bill Clinton.
Johnny D.
Johnny
Johnny
all right.
D.
Number 2, Danielle Steele, In His Father's
She's back.
Footsteps.
Remember, every week you're always like, who's it going to be that kicked James Patterson off? And I'm like, Danielle Steele.
Yeah.
This week you didn't ask, and it was Danielle Steele.
Yeah. I'm a
You
jerk.
set me up.
Yeah.
You,
What the heck's wrong with me?
I don't know.
I got issues.
I don't know.
Where was I going? The son of two Holocaust survivors struggles to become his own person after his marriage falls apart. Oh, I hate to see that.
Yeah.
But Daniel Steele is not debuting at number 1. Somebody else is debuting at number 1 this week. Oh, I lost the page. Look, it doesn't matter. I know what it was. Anyway. Okay. Leverage and Death by J.D. Robb.
J.D. Robb.
Wait, this is...
Nora Roberts.
Oh, is Nora Roberts a more powerful entity than Danielle Steele?
No, I don't think so.
We got to put them in the Patterson Dome.
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Lieutenant Eve Dallas investigates a mysterious act of terror. Wait, are the In Death ones the ones
sci-fi?
The sci-fi-ish ones? That's even weirder to me that they're doing so well.
I know.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
And there's a lot. I mean, that's probably like book 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it.
So let's get on to the next segment.
Okay.
Which is going to make this episode very short, I feel like.
Okay. Well, we're revisiting Micheal Crichton, which now he's taken the cake here as the author that we've talked about the most, I think, as far as featured. Stephen King's close.
Patterson's also very close.
We only did one fully James Patterson
No, but it's
episode.
like every week we have to talk about it.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah. But this is our third Micheal Crichton. We did the very early one where we just talked about Crichton in general. We did the posthumous releases. And now we're doing debut. So this is what I hope maybe we can make this a recurring segment where we look at prolific authors and examine book 1 and see where that magic is happening.
Well, I hope in the future there is slightly more to examine.
Yes.
So,
all right. So let's get into this a little
all right.
bit. So, when would you say? I mean, when would you say that Micheal Crichton was like Micheal Crichton? Because the Andromeda Strain is early. The Andromeda Strain is 1969.
Yeah.
But he goes back to John Lang type stuff.
Right.
Until Terminal Man, Great Train Robbery, and then it's not until 1980 that Congo comes out, and then Sphere, and then Jurassic Park in 1990. So you have like this long gap, you know, where different things are going on. So I don't know, like in 1969 when Andromeda Strain hit, it doesn't really seem like he remained like Micheal Crichton as we know him. Do you think it's Jurassic Park that really put him on the map as that kind of author?
I think all his stuff sold pretty well. Now you've got me all confused about his bibliography.
Okay.
But anyway,
because it's like 20 years between Jurassic Park and and Andromeda Strain.
No, I mean, once you get Andromeda Strain, I mean, before... Oh, boy, why can't I find this list? You vamp for a second.
Okay.
Just vamp.
Well, I'll tell you, the first one that we're talking about today is called Odds On, and it's under the pseudonym John Lang, which there are several of these John Lang books, about, 7 or 8 of them. And the ones I've read, at least, are all sort of like, not spy necessarily, but that sort of genre, like heisty, sort of action-y type books.
Here we go.
Not scientific, nothing like that.
Right. Andromeda Strain, and then you're right, like 5 books under... different
under
author names
and things.
But then Micheal Crichton's next one is Terminal Man,
right?
Which is it's still that kind of like.
Does that do well though? I don't remember. I don't think Terminal Man made a big splash.
Did they make a movie out of it?
I think they did. That doesn't necessarily. They made a movie out of Binary, which is a John Lang one. So.
Yeah, Congo, Sphere, Jurassic Park, even Rising Sun and Disclosure have their sci-fi elements.
Okay.
So I think Andromeda Strain is the first time you get a book that's like, this is what Micheal Crichton's going to be like as a writer for all that stuff. But yeah, Odds On is, I don't think if you gave somebody Odds On first, they would know that they're going to get to Timeline.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I guess the point I was trying to make,
I don't know if your friends knew they were going to get
the assumption that I was trying to make was that like I feel like the era of Micheal Crichton as we know him really solidified in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think that's when like that was probably the peak.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So this Odds On, written in 1966 or published in 1966 anyway, while Micheal Crichton was a medical student, just like getting his doctorate, writing this.
Maybe he would have gotten his doctorate factor if he wasn't thinking about sex so much.
Yes. Yes. This is a very lusty sexual book.
I put the cover of Odds On. I put the cover that has the woman in the red dress with the microphone.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand because nobody in it sings.
Right.
Or has a microphone.
Right.
But anyways, I put that cover up on my Discord for my Twitch streaming and everything. I'm like, this is what I'm reading right now. It reads exactly how the cover looks.
Yeah.
And they wrote, it kind of looks just like a trashy romance novel for men.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
It
I would
is a weird,
Yeah.
like it's a weird audience. I don't know where it would go. The basic premise is
Yeah.
you have three guys who are basically planning a heist on just a hotel.
Yeah, they're just going to rob a hotel.
Just going to meet up,
Barcelona?
rob a big hotel.
Yeah.
And then there's women who are
Uh-huh.
at the hotel who just kind of like get entangled in all
Yeah.
this and
Then it
have a
ends.
lot of sex,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, it's very... and I was reading it, I was thinking like the level of detail that Crichton normally puts into science facts, he's putting into these like steamy,
The anatomically
trashy
correct,
like
yeah.
sex scenes.
Yeah, he's like, just so you know, I know
So-
what bodies look like.
It's funny because I've read...
It's almost like he's trying to prove to his friends that, yeah, I've been with a lady.
Right.
See?
So I've read Scratch 1, which is also a John Lang, and I've read Binary, again, a John Lang. Neither of those is particularly sexual, so
Yeah.
I was actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, style-wise, I think that you can, while it is a huge jump, I think that you can still sort of feel, if you know it's Micheal Crichton, you can kind of feel that vibe. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can with the character backgrounds and
Yeah.
whatnot, and their planning stages and whatnot.
So it's not like it's a total, like, it's hard to believe he wrote that. It's
Right.
just, as far as, I mean, subject matter for one, and just the things that they're focused on are unexpected.
Yeah. Strange.
It is strange. It is strange. Did you like it?
Sometimes it's weird. It's almost like I was more into the relationship statuses. I'm like, oh, is she going to fall for him?
It's true. Yeah, you're right.
Than I was about the heist. But so was Micheal Crichton because, like, it starts with them getting to the hotel, like, there's the plan.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the book, they're just, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
British, but the only way I could figure out how to describe is they were just faffing about.
Yeah.
They were just not doing anything they're like, oh, yeah, we'll plan this heist and then we'll go to the pool for these 3 days.
Well, it was a timing issue. There was a
Yeah.
certain time when they had to rob it, and they needed to sort of establish.
But then the robbery is just non-existent.
Yeah,
the robbery's
it's not
non-existent.
really part of the book at all.
It's kind of that old school the original Ocean's 11 where the heist doesn't really work out.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, well,
Yeah.
you better leave.
Yeah.
It's just like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
Just some people have a nice vacation.
Yeah.
I guess
A
that's what it
steamy
read.
vacation.
Yeah.
A steamy vacation.
It
Don't
really,
forget that.
I mean, it really is like how we consider like steamy, sexy novels now.
Yeah.
It really is just that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is it's like he wanted to write that. He's like, oh, I better put a frame story about a robbery in there or something. So,
Yeah, and it's funny too when you look at that. I don't know if you saw the original paperback cover. It's not much better. I mean, it's just a man like dipping and kissing what appears to be a naked woman.
Oh.
So it just doesn't tell you a lot about or I guess it does. I guess it tells you exactly what the plot is.
Yeah.
So
they have this plan to rob the hotel because they're gonna. Here, this is where the early Crichton comes in.
Okay.
They're basing the robbery based off of what a computer is telling them the statistics are for success.
Yes.
And it's very
Yes.
early computer stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, the computer can't think on its own. You have to tell it the numbers. It can't
Yep.
average something.
Yeah.
You have to add all the numbers together and to divide it by 5, and that will give you the average. It's like, okay, that's just a calculator now.
Right.
But the idea is the computer is measuring their level of success based on factors for the robbery. And I feel like that's where the Crichton, and maybe if that was
Absolutely.
like,
that all played.
maybe if the book was more about that, you know,
Well, it
would feel like the guy who wrote Terminal Man.
Yeah.
But as it stands, yeah.
It's length too. I mean, I think if you lopped off about 30 pages, which you
Yeah.
could easally do,
Yeah.
what you have is like a novella.
Yeah.
You know, if you cut out the sex scenes, you'd have a short story.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I mean, that being said, I enjoyed reading the book. I mean, it's like 200 pages. It was a very quick read. It was interesting at the very least to see like a very early Micheal Crichton just making a go at it.
Yeah.
I remember liking Scratch 1. I don't remember. That was about a spy. And Binary was pretty cool. I read that one somewhat recently, and that was decent.
Right.
Do you plan on reading any of these others, the early stuff?
Probably, but I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Odds On has not put a fire
Sure.
under
Yeah.
my kettle.
Yeah.
Is that a phrase?
A fire under your kettle?
Fire
Well,
under my
certainly,
feet?
it certainly makes sense. You do want a fire under your kettle. So, does it track as an yes?
Yeah.
Is it something that's commonly said? I would say no.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say no.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I feel bad because like we're going to talk about this, but then there was just like nothing to talk about.
Well, but I think that in itself is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The fact that it is such a departure from the style. Because if you fast forward a couple of years, because at this point we're 1966 and Andromeda Strain is 1969. We're 3 years away from Andromeda Strain. Have you read Andromeda Strain?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the polar opposite. That is like I would kill for a sex scene in Andromeda Strain because that's pretty dry.
Wow.
That's pretty dry with a lot of like tables and charts and
Okay. Now we know what makes boring things interesting for Nick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what I'm saying, though? I mean,
I have to change our content rating on iTunes
definitely.
after this one.
The Andromeda Strain,
Uh-huh.
I don't rate that high, do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You would sit down and, okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
I like it. It kind of
That one, I just feel like there's virtually no, like, character development.
well, it reads like 2001: A Space Odyssey watches.
Okay, yeah.
So I guess
I think if you went through and took out any, like,
actually that's funny.
any like proper nouns instead of like Bill or whatever, you were just like character A. I mean, that's pretty much what you're
It's more
reading.
about the idea that like anything could just happen and we can't fight it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
The reason we don't die in Andromeda Strain is because the thing just evolves and moves on.
Right.
So
I mean, conceptually, I think it's a great idea. It's a good plot.
Yeah.
But if you take that and you compare it to something, way later, like a Jurassic Park or something like that, where like that's a better balance, I feel like, because there are characters and they're not. I mean, I don't think he ever really gets to a point where he's
the only
talking
time
about really deeply, like richly written characters. I don't think that
the
ever
only
really
time I've ever
happens.
liked his characters and their growth was Timeline.
Okay.
I think that was the only time where I was like more connected to the characters than the
Okay.
story. So,
But
I guess Odds On is all character work
it is, yeah.
and working it.
So it's an interesting.
all right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No,
you're
it's
right.
fine.
It's interesting to watch that evolution though, because
Right.
you have these early ones that are very opposite. Then
Yeah.
you go in the middle of the Andromeda Strain, which is swinging in the other direction,
Right.
and then we kind of work our way back into some of the John Lang stuff, and then we have with Terminal Man and Congo and all that. You have it sort of moving in the direction of Crichton that we know.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's often that you have an author who has this kind of career. If you take like a John Grisham, who's a contemporary, basically. You read like A Time to Kill, Grisham's first.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't feel that different from like Rooster Bar or whatever. I mean,
Right.
it's the same style of writing. It's the same basic idea. Here you have Crichton going from like essentially a romance novel to like a really hard science to more of a blend. So you have this interesting trajectory, and I don't think you get that a lot. So
Right.
it makes him to do a deep dive into John or Michael Crichton's back catalog. You're going to find some interesting things.
Yeah.
You're going to find some like, whoa, where did that come from? And I don't think you're going to find that with Grish or Stephen King or James Patterson. They're all pretty much doing their thing. And
Sure.
here you have somebody,
Yeah.
working it out, working through it.
Yeah.
So,
Working it.
yeah,
I said that.
exactly.
Mm.
Earlier.
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't react as well. Why the pseudonym, I wonder?
Probably because he didn't want to be known as the guy writing. Maybe he'd rather be known as the guy writing Andromeda Strain and not.
Yeah, but at this point, like
I don't know. He was in college still.
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't know what he wanted to do yet.
Yeah. Well, it seems like by Andromeda Strain he does, because
Yeah.
there's 3 years after that where he's writing totally under the John Lang pseudonym as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why he did it. I mean, I guess maybe it's a situation where he thought he wanted to write more like hard science, but was writing what was
Right.
what was being published at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe he was just kind of going with, this will be an easy paperback to put out, and did that. If that's the case, that's pretty clever.
Yeah. Maybe he just didn't want to be like at Thanksgiving and his grandmother be like, "So, Michael, I read your book.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of interesting things in that book, Michael."
Right. What
I
if
don't
the-
know what his grandmother sounds
What
like.
if the alternative, though, was like, Michael, I read this book. Odds on. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That would be worse,
Yeah.
I think.
Grammy, no.
Well,
Right.
so I read his first two, and I read Andromeda Strain. So
Mhm.
up next for me is Easy Go, and I don't really know what that one is
No.
about.
All right. Should I be vamping?
No. Sorry,
Hello,
I was
my
just
honey.
looking at it
Hello.
quickly.
It
Easy
fell
Go,
apart.
which was published, is his third published book, again under John Lang.
John Lang.
Sometimes published as The Last Tomb, was actually the first book that he wrote.
Well,
And
there
he
you
wrote
go.
it in 1 week,
Yeah.
and he was paid $1,500 for it.
Well, there you
So
go.
Easy Go is the next one that I'm on, and it sounds
Wait, is
interesting.
$1,500 just $1,500?
Yeah.
Oh, but this is in the 60s.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Let
right.
me read you about this next one.
All right.
Harold Barnaby is a brilliant Egyptologist who discovers a hidden message while translating some hieroglyphics. The message tells of an unnamed pharaoh whose tomb hasn't been discovered yet. Barnaby is exhilarated by the discovery and the prospect of the fame and fortune that will come with it. There's only one problem. He doesn't have the knowledge, influence, or wherewithal to pull off such a job without alerting the Egyptian authorities, who would surely encroach on his discovery. Luckily, Barnaby meets Robert Pierce, a transient freelance writer who is in between jobs and looking for some excitement. In a moment of drunken indiscretion, Barnaby shares his discovery with Pierce, along with his small logistical problem. Pierce, who because of his job has many friends in high and low places, offers his services to plan and manage the extraction, for a cut, of course. I think that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think that sounds really fun.
Fun fact.
Yeah?
You said he got paid $1,500 for something he wrote in a week.
Yeah.
He made, in today's money, $10,000.
That's the equivalent? $1,500?
$1,500 in 1968. In 2018 is $10,801.
Wow, that's a lot more than I thought you were going to be.
Yeah. So a week's worth. He made $10,000 in a week.
Yeah, that's
Good
pretty
for
good.
him.
That
Hey,
is
can
pretty
I
good.
have a $10,000 a week raise?
Absolutely.
Yes!
Sure.
Woo!
Sure. Here's a fun fact as
Okay,
well.
you say so. No, go ahead.
In '69, when they bought the rights for Andromeda Strain, they were looking into some other things. And the film rights, they did purchase the film rights to Odds On as well. And were planning to make it into a movie. And it just never happened.
Yeah.
So
The NC-17 rating had
right,
it
was
yet.
it was in its
So,
infancy, so it couldn't
Yeah.
really work out.
Yeah.
So I guess at the end of the day, I would say, if you're a Crichton fan and you want to see where it all began,
Yeah.
this is going to take you a handful of hours. You could read this in an afternoon.
I did.
I think it's
I had
worth
a head
doing.
started,
I think it's
but
worth
yes.
doing.
But also, if you're interested in Crichton, you haven't read any. I'm not going to give you this book. This is not the Crichton book
This
I'm
is
giving
not
you.
this is not the gateway into becoming a Michael Crichton fan.
Yeah.
If you read this and love this and want more of this, Dragon's Teeth is not going to cut it for you. So
I guess we'll give you some Anne Fleming.
yeah.
So-
Let me has a little more. Yeah, that's closer.
50 Shades Later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some other authors that we might investigate the early days of?
What is King? Is it Carrie?
Stephen King? Carrie. Yeah.
We both did that already.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. Well, Carrie's an interesting start though.
Yeah.
It's an atypical narrative
Yeah.
because you're hearing it from different scraps. So it's a pretty
Yeah.
ambitious start.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
listeners, if you have suggestions on authors whose first books we might want to check out and discuss on a future episode, please let us know. You can email us at, what is it? Just wellsville@stls.org. You can find us on Twitter at All the Book
Sure.
Show. Twitter's probably the easiest way. And remember, you can find the podcast, including our back episodes with discussing Michael Crichton, soundcloud.com/allthebooks,
iTunes,
iTunes,
YouTube.
Yeah.
Sure,
Anywhere you find
It's
us.
a pretty good
Rate,
gap.
share,
Yeah.
the whole gamut. Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, if I had to choose, share.
Yeah.
But if I could have both, rate and share.
Yeah. Why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Why limit yourself?
Yeah.
That's great. Good for you.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk some library news.
No.
Huh.
All right. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm being confrontational.
Yeah.
I got to work this out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
All
That's all
right.
right. Well, as I mentioned, the book clubs, we're wrapping up on A Gentleman in Moscow by Immortals, so you're too late to join that one.
Snap.
Next up is Cujo. That's our patron pick book club.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be part of our 2-part Stephen King book club. That's not for a month, so that's going to be, we're going to read that in October of 2018, so you have some time to pick that up. And Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. So if you're a fan of the show or are wanting to read the book before you watch the show, we got you covered. I recommend Sharp Objects. I think it's very good. That's the big stuff. We have a concert from Casual Reply. They're a folk duo that's coming September 20th, sponsored by the Allegheny Arts Association. So thanks, pals. And then it's History Week. At the end of last week of September, we have all sorts of World War I and II exhibits. We're showing From Here to Eternity. Of course, we're reading the Ernest Hemingway book.
Do you like For Here to Eternity?
I've never seen it.
Oh.
And we've got guest speakers in the auditorium every night that week.
what is it? Montgomery
Clift.
Yes, he's in that.
Okay.
It's good.
I'd like to watch it. What about you? Anything you want the good folks at home to know about?
That's happening here at this library.
Yeah.
Okay, podcast listeners, what is happening here at this library starting next week? Tuesdays, right? Tuesdays arcades. So that's 8 and up can come hang out at the arcade thing. We got some stuff. And then Wednesday is teen night. We're watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom this week.
Hey.
So it seems like teen night's really kind of like Eric night.
Yeah.
But no, it's teen night.
Eric does whatever he wants.
And then, gosh, I guess we're not doing much until, what's our next movie? The next movie we're showing is Solo.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's
exciting.
That's the 5th, October 5th. So somebody's going to finally be able to see Solo.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
And then I guess we got some stuff in October, more stuff in October than this month right now.
Okay.
But we got some Harry Potter themed owls coming in
that's
October.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff.
That's library life.
We're also showing Moana on oh no, that's happening right now as we record, so that's too late.
Yeah, never mind.
Too
You
late,
missed
everyone.
You missed Moana.
You missed the boat.
Get the Disney app.
Or
or don't.
For more on Micheal Crichton, you can go to soundcloud.com/allthebooks. Look at episode 2 of the All the Book Show, spotlighted Micheal Crichton, and look at episode 92 called Dragon Teeth, Micheal Crichton's posthumous works,
Okay.
featuring my little brother as a guest that week. Hi,
Yeah.
Steve. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll be back next week to chat some more.
Yeah. All right. Let me. No. All right. Now, bye. That was a sloppy end on my end. Sorry.
Very.
Sorry.
You can cut it out. You
Yeah.
can cut
okay.
it out for the podcast.
We're still live on Twitch though.
Anything else? Anything our Twitch friends want to tell us? Nothing?
No.
They were asking about my pop figure. This is Nightwing. This is the Teen Titans
That was
Go
forever ago.
version of Nightwing.
Yeah.
Now that I can talk about it.
Okay.
And then the Friends cast back there. And let me tell you, I've had a time trying to find a Monica, and they released a new one. So now I got all 6 friends. So look out. I need a Paul Rudd now, I guess.
I guess. All right. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I've said.
Is it?
No.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Anything you want to add?
No. You can find me
Right,
Dusk versus Tweak. Dusk versus Tweak. I'm streaming. I don't know what. I just finished Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah. You can find him in person at the following address. No, you
Dusk
don't- you don't
versus
want me to
Tweak.
say- I was.
Oh,
no,
at my
I
act.
was
no.
going to say
What?
your
Yeah, I said-
physical address.
I might be playing the next Tomb Raider that I'm doing, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ooh, I love me some Tomb
So
Raider.
that's Tomb Raider reboot number 2,
Yeah. Okay.
volume 2. I don't
Okay.
know, episode 2.
I'm playing Uncharted 2, but just in my living room, so people
Yeah.
can't really watch unless
Yeah.
they're just
outside your window.
outside the windows,
Yeah.
which I don't.
Yeah, that's illegal streaming.
I don't think you want to do that.
So,
I don't think you wanna do
yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks.
All right. What presidential puppetry says I'm holding you back from your full potential? That's probably true.
Me?
Yeah, I'm holding you back.
Wow, it's so nice to have that recognized.
All right.
That's really good.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Great. He'll be talking about that for a while.